So here we're gonna have a review of the 7th Acoustics Supernova. This is a 6BA IEM by 7th Acoustics. Retails for around $750, and let's get into this. I have actually had this set for a couple of months now. And so this is a review pretty much with all of the hype out of the way, with the whole honeymoon phase out of the way, just long-term usage review here. Let's open this up here. Take this out. You have a little warranty card here, and you have the actual IEMs. Take this out here. Come on, get out of there. Please. There we go. Yeah, I have spin fits on them because that's what I used on them, but they do not come with the spin fits. They come with actually good tips as well. They come with a whole array of final E-tips with a small size that I have never actually seen this small size before. And it also comes with some silicone tips here. I tried these out. They pretty much sound the same as the spin fits, but are a worse fit for me. So we're going to be talking about the sound with the spin fits for the whole review pretty much. And we're going to take this out with a little puck case, and we're going to move this box off to the side. Alright, so it is just a regular metal puck case, a bit big. I don't really like these kind of cases, to be honest, but I mean, it's fine. I don't like the sound it just made. Oh my god. I don't like the sound it makes me open it. But inside of the case, we have the cable. And let me just say, this is my favorite IEM cable, probably. Period. Just end of story. Not just my favorite IEM cable included with an IEM, but just my favorite in general. I really like how this looks. I like how it feels. It is extremely well built. Overall, flawless to me. There is one small thing, is that over time, one of the braids over the other one has become a little bit looser. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to find a spot where it's noticeable here. You see that? Just a very small thing, but that's about it. I mean, I literally can't find another flaw here. I think a little bit here too. There's just a little bit like less tight on one of them. But overall, that's like practically nothing, almost not visible. That's just how good this cable is. I can't find really strong flaws here. It's super supple. It has a really nice like weave to it. It's not thick, but it's not too thin. It's not like light or heavy. The connectors are all really nice quality metal, and just everything feels perfectly made. Like the chin slider matches perfectly with the neck, with the splitter, and it's just like small stuff like that. It's just an excellent cable. Excellent cable. I have had zero issues. I can't recommend this cable enough. Like, I mean, if I can buy a third party one, I would. I can another one of these, not third party cable, but if I could buy more of these cables, I would. I can't find out where. If you know where I can buy more of these cables, let me know in the comments, please. I would buy more of these. Anyway, on to design and comfort now. The design is also very nice. It is an abalone faceplate. This is like the most standard color that it comes in that I've seen, but it comes in many colors: purple, red, blue. You can choose when you buy them. I think it looks great. The overall like size is pretty average. I get a good fit with these tips because I get a deeper insertion, but with the other stock tips, it's a little bit more uncomfortable because it's a little bit bulky for me. But overall, with the spin fits, for me, this was a very comfortable set. I can wear for very long periods of time. It is a very classic resin shell 2-pin. That's about it. I mean, like, it's comfortable. It looks great. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's talk about what you care about now. The sound. Man, where do I start? I really like these. And again, I've had these for a long time, and still just thinking about how they sound. I mean, I have them, I can listen to them, but even just reminding myself of how these sound like, telling you about how these sound like, it's just like, I love these so much. The tuning is perfect for me. Really just perfect for me. Like, if I were to make my own target, it would just be the Supernova tuning. That's it. So let's go bass mid highs here. These are an all BA set, and for the bass, it's still fantastic. I won't say it's the best bass I've heard. It's not. It's amazing bass, still beautifully done. and it still has good texture, good decay, but it's not the best decay. I've heard better decay, and I've heard better impact before than this. It is good impact, solid, but it's not the best. It is like probably one of the best in the under under $1,000, not 100,000, under $1,000 price category, but it's not like the best thing ever. It's great bass though. You're not missing anything in terms of bass. The tuning overall has an emphasis in bass and mids. The mids are forward, not too forward, not shouty at all, but I would say the mids overall are forward on this set in comparison to most sets. And the bass has a bit of a boost as well, where the treble takes a little bit of a backseat, but still excellent treble performance. We'll talk about that. But that's the overall tuning. It is dark. It is a dark set, but not too dark. And I will talk about that when we talk about presentation. For now, bass quality, amazing. Not like class leading necessarily. I'll say that the bass is a bit better on the SR8, which is also a BA. Shows that BA bass can perform. But still not the best bass at the price, but amazing bass. Very satisfactory, over satisfactory. Great. All right, to mid-range. The mid-range is also gorgeous. This is the best part of the set. I think that really the main thing that's like makes me love these so much is the presentation. I don't know why it's so dark though, like a camera here for some reason, but the mid-range has a very like smoothness to it, very coherent. It doesn't sound like 6BA. It has a coherency of a single dynamic driver. Really, honestly, just beautiful mid-range. Very, very great note weight. And the stage on these gives it a lot of depth. It's just overall, the vocalists have a very good body to it, and it's not the most detailed mid-range. That's one of the I wouldn't say flaws even necessarily, but it's one of the things that some people may not like about the set is that it's not really pushing detail in your face. This isn't the most analytical sound you can get. It is a very flat sound in comparison to some of the more colored sounds, like the SR8 has it changes the sound a lot, has extremely high belts of bass, very energetic. These are a more relaxed sound, but it can get a little bit of energy when the track calls for it. And every once in a while you hear little small amounts of energy, just making it more fun, but at the same time it stays relatively more relaxed and more on the relaxed end when it comes to the signature. The vocalists are forward but not too forward. Let's say this is your head, this is where the vocalist is, and overall the stage is kind of more, instead of being like a full surround, it's more of like an oval where there's much more, it's much more left to right distance than it would be a distance in front of you and distance behind you. So it has kind of like this very flat sound, like not flat sound, very wide sounding, but doesn't have good front and back depth. But this also makes it so the vocalist, when they're front and center, is very close to you, but not in a shouty way, just in a very intimate vocal presentation. The instruments, because of that left and right depth and distance, sound gorgeous. Very beautiful presentation, very well placed. And it has great imaging. One of the best imaging probably in this price point, better than the SR8. And I'll also bring in the Dunu Zen Pro here because I'll have that for comparison as well. I won't say you won't like hear the most as I said before, you're not gonna hear the most details in the mid-range, but it is just the way it's presented, the body that the vocalists have and the instruments have. Strings sound beautiful on here. Overall, the mid-range is my favorite part of this set, and it is just it's amazing. No flaws really at all, except for just detail retrieval is not the best. This is not for detail. Anyway, going on to the treble. The treble performance is also great, but it's not really the emphasis that this set has. It is more rolled off, if anything, though it still has good like performance, and it does have good enough extension, and it is detailed, but not as detailed as the SR8's treble or a few other IEMs that have more, like an EST IEM, like a Tribrid or something that like focuses on the treble. This doesn't have focus in the treble. The focus is more on the bass and the mids, but the treble is there, and what's there is good quality, and it's satisfactory completely. For me, I am treble sensitive, so I prefer that treble is rolled off, if anything. So this treble performance is exactly what I'm looking for. But if you're a treble head, I don't think this is the set for you. Despite how much I love this set, it's probably not for you because this isn't gonna give you that sparkle, that like energy in the treble that you may be looking for if you're really obsessed with having a very, very highly extended, emphasized treble. This is not that. This has, if anything, the opposite, but it's not like heavily recessed treble where it's just like a completely dark set. No. In terms of just overall presentation, though, these are a fantastic all-rounder. Probably the best all-rounder. If I could only keep one set in my collection forever, it would be the Supernova because it has a kind of reliability to it. Like, every time I want to just listen, if I'm listening to Supernova, I never have to worry, is it going to be good with this track? Is it going to be good with this track? It does everything consistently well. And it's never sibilant because of that rolled off treble a little bit. So I never have to worry about this part of the track is going to be sharp because that part of the track is always sharp on so many IEMs. Never. This is it's like a really good baseline for me to have in general. I really like having this set to just go back to. This is my most used set, except for that set that, I take outside when I want to just throw it in my bag. I can't just throw this in my bag. It's $750. But for at-home use, this is the most used set I'll have, except for depending on what I'm testing at that time for review. But otherwise, in terms of leisurely listening at my house or indoors, this is my most used set because it's reliable. It's just overall the tuning is exactly what I'm looking for, and it's not fatiguing at all. I can listen to this probably for the longest amount of time out of every IEM I have. I love my Zen Pro. The Zen Pro is amazing, but over time, the treble can be a little more fatiguing than these are, and it also sometimes doesn't have enough bass for a certain track that I want. This will always have enough bass for me. It will always be great mid-range performance. Always, the treble is what I want. Maybe sometimes I want a little bit more energy when I'm in I want something intense. I usually go for the SR8 for that. But in terms of just I'll never feel like something's lacking ever on here, except for if I'm really, really being picky with the listening for details. These are great for if you're working. If you're doing some work on the computer, you want to listen to music in the background. This is fantastic for that. Because sometimes when I listen to things like the SR8 or the Zen Pro, they have a lot of energy to them, and also it's that I get distracted. The music sound is really good, and so I'm listening to the bass is really nice, and so I'll get distracted from my work. With the Supernova, it's not that it doesn't sound amazing. It's not distracting me. It's just that I don't know. It just has a kind of, because it's on that darker style sound, it doesn't snap me out of my workflow. I can stay in my workflow while still, if I want to quickly if I want to listen to just music by itself without doing any work, it's still engaging and still fun to listen to. It has the perfect balance for me, and so that's why if I could only keep one set, it would be the Supernova. This is just the most reliable set I own. It is just the best tuning, never harsh, never disappointing, always there and doing a great job at any genre I have. I've listened to rock, classic, pop, J-pop, K-pop, C-pop. Every single genre I have thrown at these, it's been great. Instrumental, anything has been fantastic on here. See, some things on the SR8, it's just too much, too intense. Especially if you listen to some more heavy rock on the SR8, it's gonna be a little bit too much for me sometimes, especially if I'm tired on that day. Here, no. Separation is really good on these, so things doesn't get busy. The track doesn't get too busy. I can listen to any busy track I want because these lay it out perfectly in the left to right field. It doesn't have the most depth front to back, as I said, but that really hasn't been an issue for me. Even though I would prefer that, and that's why they're not perfect. They're not perfect. Not everything is perfect about these. They do lack a little bit of detail if you want more detail. They do not have the most expansive stage, but it still has a great stage. It's a really still great stage. Better stage than both of these, actually. But it doesn't have like that height that the Zen Pro has. If you see in my Zen Pro review, I talked about how like it kind of sounds like very big and tall. This does not have that. But it doesn't. It just doesn't matter. It's the way the presentation that it does is always just satisfactory for me. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, in terms of like comparisons with these two, vocals, I like more on this than on these most of the time. There's a little bit more energy in the vocals on the SR8, and so sometimes I prefer the SR8 vocals on some tracks, but typically I like the presentation of the vocals on the Supernova more. In terms of bass hits way harder, way better on the SR8. That's just the SR8 does bass perfectly, like really great, really great. It is too emphasized sometimes, but overall the bass on the SR8 in quality is better, and it is more of it. So if you're more into like you want something energetic, something bassy, SR8. The mid range, like, as I said, vocals. I prefer the presentation on here over these two. Sometimes there's a bit more energy in the vocals in here, which is better in some cases. And also, the vocals are brighter on the Zen Pro, and also a little bit more like bright. This is a bright set, so the vocals sound more bright on the Zen Pro. And overall vocal presentation on both of these very good. Very similar presentation, like in distance too, but these are a little bit more in your face than these are. In terms of treble, I think treble's done better on the SR8, more detail in the treble, better quality treble here, but there's more energy. This is a very energetic set. Overall, staging's best on here. I mean, out of all three at least, and imaging as well. Imaging is best on here. Anyway, that's about it. I mean, I love this set, as you can tell, probably from me raving about it in the entire review. Really, I mean, that's why it's S+. That's why this is the S+ set. And that's about it. See ya.